Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm here at Intelligent UAS. As promised, we're back with a video about the app for the new Inspire 1. We're going to go through the basic features of the app and maybe some more of the advanced features to give you a preview of what you're going to find with your new helicopter and all the advancements that we've put into this helicopter. So without further ado, let me get into the app itself. Okay, so we have the Academy portion here on the home screen. We have the map and the camera. So let's start out with the Academy and take a look and see what's inside there. Inside here we have the flight simulator, we have the manuals, and it looks like some promotional videos from DJI. I would imagine they're going to put more videos in here and more information as time goes on. You can go into the flight simulator and actually fly your Inspire 1 through the simulator before you ever actually really take it off, so you can learn, and it'll walk you through all the steps if you're a beginner. So go back and hit the home button. This will bring us back to the home screen. Closing the simulator. If I hit the home button one more time, that'll bring us back to the main screen. We have the map and we have the camera. I'm going to start with the camera from this point. From here, we're going to come in, and from here we have all the buttons are on the top and the bottom. You start out with your home button. You have your mode button. So if we click this, it'll show us all the different things about the helicopter. We have a minimum altitude that we can set. So if we want to set the helicopter to only fly at, say, 1 or 2 feet off the ground, we can set that. We can set a minimum altitude and a maximum altitude. These options are here. We can also set a maximum distance as well. We can enable IOC or disable IOC from here. We have beginner mode. We can unlock the motors. We can enter travel mode. This will raise the arms up for you so that you can put it in the case. We can reset all the settings. In here we have advanced settings. We have the gain, the failsafe, and the sensors. We can make changes to all these things. This particular portion, you have on your position switch, you're going to have three. You're going to have attitude. You have three: GPS, attitude, and P attitude. Now they've changed. P attitude actually uses the optical flow sensor to allow for the helicopter to hover indoors and hold position without the need of a GPS lock. Obviously we have the portion that shows our satellites here. We don't have any satellites indoors. Right here it's telling me I'm ready to fly inside with no GPS. We have the controls connections. In here we have all the settings that we can set up for master and slave. We have RC control settings as well. Further, you can change your gimbal wheel speed, your stick curve, and your stick mode. So some of you are familiar with Mode 1 and Mode 2 controllers and having to buy it specifically for that. With the Inspire, it doesn't matter. You can adjust the mode that you want. So if you're a European user or an American user, you'll be able to pick which mode is more familiar to you. HD, we have basically explanations of the video and speed. We have the amount of channels that you can use, so you can change channels. If you're getting a lot of interference on one, you can change to a different one. We have image quality, transmission quality. So right now I have it on the lowest, which is 2 megabits. This will give us up to 4 kilometers in range according to it, and as I pushed it up, the range would get lower. Dual output or single output, so you can put both antennas can output at the same time, or single output. You have display for your OSD and HDMI output. So if we turn this on or turn it off, from here, go into the battery settings. So here you can see we have 87%. It gives us the first low-level battery warning and the second critical battery warning. We can adjust these as we see fit and with sliders. Default is going to be 30 and 15. I would recommend staying with that until you're a little bit more advanced and understand how to adjust these and why. It gives us a flight time, gives us the voltage of the battery, the math hour remaining, the total capacity of the battery, the temperature of the battery. It also gives us a readout of each one of the cells here, so we can see each of these cells are at 4.2 volts. The battery's at 100% life. We also have a discharge, so we can set the battery to automatically discharge after these amount of days. This is to save the battery in case you stop using it for an extended period of time. Leaving a battery fully charged will actually cause the battery to lose its power. Here we have the serial number and the product date. We have a history, so we can go through and we can look at all of our flights that this helicopter has taken and see if there was any abnormalities or any issues. We have the general settings button, which this is going to allow us to change from metric to imperial. So if you don't like everything in meters and you want it in feet, you can just click the imperial and that'll bring it over to the feet option. We can turn on or off overexposure warnings. Video caption, we can turn on the grid. So if you want grid lines on the camera, this is good for lining up your shot or centering your shot. You can also add diagonals to the grid line if that's what you're familiar with. So grid and diagonals. For a photographer, this would be very useful trying to center the shot. Anti-flicker, quick review. We can change the camera setting from NTSC or PAL depending on your location in the world. Reset camera settings, format the SD card, adjust gimbal roll, and auto calibration. We have the option to show the flight route, which we'll go over in the map portion. We calibrate the coordinates for GPS for mainland China, cache the map to the background. When we do this, it'll allow the helicopter to hold the maps in the iPad rather than having to have an internet connection to actually get the information from the Google Maps portion. Tutorial and rate and about. So we can see the firmware versions that the helicopter is using, etc. As we finish the top bar, we go into the sidebar here. We have auto takeoff, which you see here. I click it once. It asks me if I want the helicopter to take off. I would just slide for it to take off. Here I have the gimbal modes, H-trace, H-free, and reset. You have a lock mode. We have a go home button. So if I slide, the helicopter will return to home. Now, in addition to this go to home, we have something that's a little bit different. Typically, go to home, it goes to the takeoff point where the helicopter first took off. It records this. With the light bridge, you can actually set the home point to be the transmitter. So the home point becomes dynamic. So if I take off here and I move, say, 100 yards to the left or to the right, if I tell it to come home to the transmitter, it will always return to the location of the transmitter, not where it took off from. The bottom corner here, we have a radar view. It'll show us basically where the helicopter is. It'll give us its height in meters, its distance in meters, its velocity forward in meters per second, and its height or velocity in meters per second. It also gives us the information from the optical flow sensor telling us that it's working and that right now it's at 0.01 meters from the ground. As we move over to the other side, we have the camera controls. For here, we have a slider that allows us to change from camera mode to video mode. So right now we're in camera mode. We can snap pictures with the button. With this button, we can go back and review. So for example, I'll snap a picture of this. I can go back and review in the iPad and see the picture that I took or any of the videos that I just took while I'm still flying the helicopter. I can go in here into the settings. And okay, so here you have your ISO settings, shutter settings, you have JPEG format, it looks like RAW format, and JPEG RAW. Video format, you have movie and MP4. You have a white balance, it looks like different filters depending on what you're looking for. You have video size, so you have all the different options for your video, anything from 4K at 4096 2160 at 24 frames a second, or no, the highest one is 3840 at 2160 frames, 30 frames a second, and the lowest setting looks to be 1280 by 720 at 24 frames a second. Go over to the style. It looks like we have some more filters that we can add in if you want to. Digital filters as well that they've added in. I would imagine that this is just a pre-production unit, so these filters are going to expand and get better as time goes on. So from here, we'll slide the bar back down. This will get us into the camcorder mode or recording mode for video. From here, we can hit the button and record, and it actually records video. You can see the time that it's elapsed. It's going to give me up here that I'm recording at 4K at 30 frames a second and that I have 22 minutes and 13 seconds remaining on this particular memory card for recording. I can hit stop record. I can then go back and hit the review button. I can actually just watch the recording that we just did in real time and see if I got the shot that I wanted. Go back. Again, the same thing, settings for the recording situation. Same thing, ISO, shutter settings, the same, all the things we just went over. So pretty much from the camera to the video recording, all the filters and formats are all there. From here we can go over into the map mode. If we click on the map itself, It'll bring us over to the map. Now from here, we have all of the information displayed for us. It's going to show us where we are in real time. Again, if we were flying with the helicopter, this little red arrow would represent us, and it would give us a blue path that we've flown. At any point, we can tell the helicopter to return home. All the buttons that were in the video mode are also in the map mode. Also on this side, we have the option to go through and pick standard map, satellite, or hybrid versions of the map if we want. We can lock the direction of the map here. We can go over and we can use the guidelines. This is also what the helicopter will do as you're flying. It'll draw this blue line behind it to show you where it's been. Next, we have a flight bar at the top of the screen. It's this green bar with a white dot and a yellow dot, and then a red portion. This is actually the flight time. While the helicopter's in flight, it will give you an estimated time that you have left to fly it. It will also show you the first and second fail-safes and where they're going to occur. From here, we're going to the camera. Some of you have asked about single operation. Now, what we found in the latest firmware is that if we click on the screen and we hold it, a little blue dot appears. This actually will allow us to pan the camera. So we can pan the camera backwards and forwards or up and down, however we would like. This would enable a single user to be able to pan the camera the way that they need to. Well, this has been the Inspire 1 explanation video. If there's any particular features that you're interested in that you would like us to go into more depth about, please put them in the comments below. Also, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.